The UCC asked a group of recruiters to share their feedback on a sample resume. Here's what they had to say, what made it stand out in a positive way, and what could have put it in the no pile. One of the very first things the employers looked at was the format. If a resume was easy to read, a lot more information can be gleaned in a quick scan. For the format, the employers mentioned things like contact information. They liked that it was easy to find on this resume. Section headers. They thought the section headers were easy to pull out, which made it then easier to read the whole document. White space. They looked at this resume and thought there was too much white space on the page. This is a careful balance. It's important not to cram too much information to make the page dense, but students should also use the full page. One recruiter said, "The one thing I noticed about their resume is a lot of white space, which can give the impression a student hasn't done that much. I would encourage them to dig deeper into their experiences and consider what else might be valuable to add. Sales associate or counselor experiences, for example, are valuable to employers and show initiative as well as how the students filled their time." After format, many recruiters focused on pulling out a few key pieces of information from the resume. They noticed the institution the student attended, the GPA, and while optional, they noticed the strong GPA on the resume and saw it as one marker of success in college. The coursework. What major or minor did the student have? What other coursework did they include that relates to the job? Some recruiters also appreciated that this resume used a summary or objective statement. A summary or objective statement is often optional, and a generic one doesn't add much to the resume. But a specific statement can quickly add insight into the candidate. Specifically, one recruiter said, "Having the objective was great because it allowed me to understand what they were looking for within their field. And including their skill sets allowed me to understand where they saw their strengths in the given field they were pursuing." There were a few things that the recruiters thought could have been done differently, including eliminating high school information. They assumed that if the student is in college, they've graduated from high school, so listing the high school attended isn't a good use of space. Moving the experience and activity sections so they were closer to the top after the education section. This draws the attention to the most tangible experiences more quickly. Adding more depth to the descriptions of the experiences and activities listed. The recruiters found that the bullet points didn't provide enough information to really understand the candidate's skills. In terms of what may prevent a resume from being passed on to the next phase, the recruiters noted that students shouldn't make their resumes too wordy. They shouldn't just list the roles they've had without being clear about the work they did in those roles. They shouldn't be inauthentic. If phrases don't reflect how students usually present themselves, that becomes noticeable to a reader. And lastly, there was an emphasis on providing quantifiable information to illustrate how students have added value in the past. One recruiter said it was best to use numbers where applicable for added context. It showcases what students have done and puts the students' work on a scale. Another shared how quantifiable information can show the impact you've had. Add metrics to bulleted descriptions whenever possible to demonstrate a results orientation. In this resume example for a research fellow, we would like to know how many people were at the presentation, what was the nature of the data collected, and to how many databases were contributed. Or, was any new testing methodology used to help streamline operations? How was this idea helpful to the organization? The recruiters also agree that students should use a similar approach when describing extracurriculars. Give a little more information about tangible outcomes or skills developed as a result of being a part of an activity. Overall, they thought the sample resume was in a good place, but that it would be great if the student incorporated the suggestions above to offer more information on their experiences and skills developed as a result of those experiences. Hopefully, hearing the recruiter's perspective in this video gave you more ideas of how to take your resume from good to great. If you are working on your resume, visit our website, careercenter.umich.edu, for more help. If this was helpful and you'd like to see more content like this, let us know on Instagram or email us at careercenter@umich.edu.